The most iconic part of shounen anime is without question the constant fight. Be it an older classic or one of the new series, this part never really changed. And that's exactly what makes it so special and entertaining while keeping it meaningful. But Shokugeki no Soma takes this aspect to another level. While most anime uses fights to express true inner self of a character, there are those animes that manage to bring that personality out in various other ways. It's rare, really rare, but when it's done right, it can make the show become a true legend in the anime community. And Shokugeki no Soma, without question, succeeds in it. And the road to reach your inner self in this case is cooking. But wait, I can almost see your disappointment, but give this show a chance. And yeah, while cooking is quite a boring subject, especially for a high-paced action anime, but it wouldn't be the first time we got surprised. Just think about the famous potato chip scene from Death Note.
Just watch me, El. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
A scene that shows us how even the most basic human actions can carry drama in them. Or look at the legend itself, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This show made us cheer for a dog, made us watch people go rat hunting, made these hairstyles seem cool, made ridiculous poses epic, made the Nazis a bit cooler, and invented the idea of a person's inner self manifesting as ghost-like creatures called stands. And it was an amazing show. In fact, it is the most popular series in Japan ever made. So just calm down and give this anime a chance. So the premise of the show is quite typical. A young boy filled with passion and confidence decides to become the best. We've seen this far too many times. Pokemon trainers, ninjas, pirates, and now chefs. But this show is much more different from its ancestors. First of all, it's much faster. Nowadays animes don't spend much episodes with setups. In opposite to older shows, they tend to jump straight into the exciting parts. And this show is no different. It further increases the pacing to the point where, aside from a few comic scenes, the show is in a constant state of climax. And yes, when I say climax, I mean climax. Constant. The excitement reaches its upper limit and it just stays there, trapping us in an endless hurricane of emotions. There's just no stop to it, especially those cliffhangers. I hate them, but I love them. And all that excitement is focused around cooking. Yeah, I guess I really need to explain this part. So while cooking is usually not that visually exciting, it does have a few benefits. First of all, it's at least as complex as any martial art. You can use different tools and ingredients, start different styles and tastes. It is surprisingly capable of showing personality. And the show takes advantage of that aspect to its fullest. You never really see two dishes that are the same because the people who made them really put their all into adapting to the current demands while also keeping their respective styles. The way they cook is like their unique language, a way for them to convey emotions and express themselves and communicate with others. This way they can show who they really are. And so these foods carry the spirit of their chef. For example, Soma always finds new and interesting solutions, but of course that also means it's destined to fail. A lot. And it's funny. As another example, Megumi always puts the well-being of the guest first, and that shows in her food. The contrast between the shy Megumi, who wants to please the guest, and the confident Soma who surprises the guests can be seen just by looking at their dishes. And the same could be said about any other group of characters in the series. Every confrontation conveys a difference in ideals. Scent, taste, disgust, copying, wildness, elitism, kindness, precision, freedom, all of these are represented by different characters. And when these characters and their soul, which they manifest in the shape of foods, face each other, it becomes the perfect base for a shounen anime to deliver its message. And just to show what I'm talking about, let's take a look at one of my favorite confrontations, the Megumi vs Shinomiya Shokugeki. This fight is more about the chefs than the actual food. The whole conflict started when Megumi changed Shinomiya's recipe. The change was necessary because that was the only way she could make quality food out of the poorly conditioned ingredients. Shinomiya, however, refuses to acknowledge any changes to the recipe, and this little difference carries their whole life. Megumi came from a poor village where she had to make the best use of the low-quality ingredients that were available. So for her to come up with a trick to increase the quality of the outcome is a logical solution. On the other hand, Shinomiya's denial is also understandable. If a chef's own staff makes decisions without any consultation with the chef, then the whole system can collapse in no time. And that fear is legitimate because Shinomiya himself had almost lost everything he had worked for because of similar occurrences. In a way, both of them are correct based on their own experiences, but both of them are also wrong from the other person's point of view. And when it comes to their battle, it's clear that Shinomiya's food is much more professional and precise. However, there's a crucial mistake he had made. He only paid attention to the recipe, and thus failed to put any care or emotion behind it. And that's where Megumi's food surpasses Shinomiya's. Megumi's food is filled with care. She even paid attention not to make the food too heavy on someone's stomach. Her food not only talks to your stomach but also to your soul. Shinomiya is able to recognize this just by one bite. That one bite alone can make him realize what he had done wrong in his life. In order to succeed, he had thrown away his emotions and had forgotten about his original motivations. He had essentially lost himself. But Megumi's food is able to remind him of who he really is, by bringing back his most precious memories. Shinomiya, who is one of the most arrogant and confident characters in the whole show, admits his defeat, and all of that is caused by Megumi's food. And even though this scene is one of the best scenes, the whole show is filled with scenes that carry similar amount of emotion and drama. And while it is true that almost no one really understands what goes into the actual cooking part, in all honesty, we don't have to. The actual fights were never really the important part. It was the ideas and the personalities that we loved, the heart of a shounen anime. And that's what makes this show so irresistible. At its core, it's the same as any other show, but it's fresh and new, taking the charming parts of the past, finding new unique solutions to express characteristics, while adapting to the expectations of fast-paced, climatic fights with top-notch visuals, voice acting and soundtrack. Showing us a vast array of unique and interesting characters while also displaying the interactions between them, along with the developments they go through. Shokugeki no Soma is an anime that you need to see for yourself.